Welcome to the Gatekeepers Podcast with Billy Grove, where the fence world gets real, raw, and unfiltered. Billy's not just an industry leader, he's a hands-on pro who knows what it takes to build quality fences and strong teams. So grab a cold one, settle in, and get ready for straight talk about the trade. Today's show is brought to you by Mr. Fence Academy, National Metal Industries, J.C. Gurry Signs and Decals, and Orlando Hinge Company. If you're looking to hit the next level in your fence company, check out Mr. Fence Academy. Real fencers, real job sites, real training equals real results. And now, live from the Mr. Fence Academy studios, here's your host, Billy Grove.
What is going on, Fence fam? How's everybody doing on this wonderful Tuesday evening? Hope everybody is doing fabulous. Had a great week since last Tuesday. We have a great show lined up for you tonight. I got Mr. Matthew Chiaradonna. I probably butchered that, but hopefully I'm close on, of JC Fence and Elite Technique CRM. It's going to be a great show. First and foremost, guys, I do have to give a huge shout out to my sponsors who make this thing happen every single week. First and foremost, we got Mr. Fence Academy. If you are looking to up the level of your fence company, whether it be the business side or the installation side, go check out www.mrfenceacademy.com. Next up, we got National Metal Industries. If you guys are like searching for, man, I just completely forgot what I was about to say. My privacy slats for chain link, ornamental iron, aluminum, vinyl, some pretty cool fence tools. Go check out National Metal Industries at www.nmifence.com. Next up, we got JC Gurry. If you guys are still looking for a fence sign to put on your fences, go check out the folks over at JC Gurry at www.jcgurry.com. Last but not least, guys, Orlando Hinge Company, aka the Swan Hinge. If you're still struggling with those uphill swing double drive gates, do yourself a favor, go to www.swanhinge.com, check them out, get you a couple sets, because after you use the first one, you're going to want to use them more. Bam. So I stumbled my way through that after Chris told me last week how great of a job I did. So props to myself on that one. But anyways, we are here. And like I said, I do have Mr. Matthew Chiaradonna on, and we're about to see if I either butchered that or got close. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm well, sir. You got it very well. Can't complain on your first try. Excellent job.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Normally I butcher last names, so that's great, man. So, like, how you doing tonight?
Excellent, sir. I cannot complain. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. So, for anybody who's watching who does not know you, have not heard of you, can you give us a little who you are, where you live, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you mentioned, I'm Matt Chiaradonna. I am the owner of JC Fence Company and Elite Technique. I grew up just north of the Boston area, spent my whole life around here. That's where my fence company is from. I recently moved up to New Hampshire, so I am a proud resident of New Hampshire at the moment. That's where I started the software company out of the state, but still very much in between Boston and southern New Hampshire. So yeah, it's a little bit about me.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So stepping into the fence world, you're a third generation fencer, correct?
Yeah, that's 100% correct. Grandfather, my dad, and then myself. Yep.
So you've been doing this stuff since you were probably in diapers then, huh?
100%. Yeah, I was kind of born into it. Ever since I was little, I was around the shop, packing hardware, sweeping floors, till I was old enough to play with the tools, and been doing it my whole life. Yep.
There we go. So what made you want to stick with it? Was it like a choice, or was it just kind of a 18, 20-year-old like, all right, I guess this is what I'm going to do?
When I was younger, I always wanted to do it. My dad always told me no, it wouldn't happen. He wasn't going to let me do what he did. What truly got me into it was when I was 14, my dad got in a really bad car accident. He was in a coma for a while, a little over a year before he woke up. My grandfather, who had retired, was out of the business. My dad was not able to do the job. So my grandfather came back out of retirement. I was 14 and kind of knew at that point, like, all right, I got to step up and help this thing not go away. And so I would go every day after school to work, help my grandfather out. Summer vacations were spent every day at the fence company. And I kind of knew pretty quickly by the time I was like 16, 17, there wasn't anybody in my way to tell me no anymore. And I was never leaving, and still here.
That's awesome, man. That is really pretty cool. I mean, like most kids who are born into something either love it or just completely hate it and want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, yeah, you hear that story definitely on both sides, right? Like, they were born in it and stayed, or they were running from it as far as they could. I always liked it. I was always, like I said, at the shop, at a job site, out looking at jobs. I always enjoyed it. It was what I knew once I had the ability to do it.
Right. So,
Come back.
so after your dad came back, did he start giving you or letting loose on the reins over to you right then and there, or was this a very, very slow process for you?
No, he never came back. He was comatose, brain damaged. He was in really rough shape. He didn't live much longer after. So my grandfather and I did it together from 14 until 18. I graduated high school. And then 3 years later, I bought the company from my grandfather. I'd saved up for the 7 years, 4 years of high school, 3 years after. When I saved up enough money to buy him out, I bought him out, and I think I was 20 when I bought him, and that was it. He was out, and I ran it from then on.
That's impressive, man. That is super impressive. How old are you?
I am 40.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
thought we were right about the like same age. That's extremely impressive, man. So when you did the buyout, what was your like crew looking like? Was it like, two crews, multiple crews, or was it just still kind of a smaller operation?
Yeah, it was a small operation. We were kind of like shambles. We look back at like old profit and losses, and we were doing a little over 2 million in sales in 1999 before my dad got in the accident. And by the time I bought the company, we were down to about 400,000 in sales. So we had shrunk significantly from what happened to him, and until I got the reins back. So we were running between 2 to 3 crews a day. We were doing some small wholesale sales to other fence companies, and we had shrunk down pretty significantly when I purchased the company.
Okay. And I imagine you like scaled it back up.
Yeah, it took a little while. I bought the company in 2007. As most of your listeners probably know, 2008 didn't go so hot. So
No.
from 2008 till 2011, I actually almost lost the company. My entire life savings was spent dumping it into buying the company. I bought the company in pretty poor financial shape, and by 2011, I was getting my car repossessed from the front yard, and I was struggling to pay my mortgage. So we stayed pretty low for 3 years. Took me a while to get the knocks and bumps and bruises, and then starting around 11 and 12, we really started to scale, and that's really when it started to shoot up and the growth happened. Yeah, I'd say the growth, kind of peaked out right there around COVID, and it's gotten a little slow the last couple of years where we've kind of been going sideways, but looking
Right.
at the next runway to go back up again.
There we go. Now, what did that scaling look like for you? Did you have, help along the way, or was there really kind of no previous playbook to grab plays from?
It was a real old school playbook. It was, I think what my dad had done had been lost, and we were back to kind of my grandfather's way. We were old school without very many processes, kind of just like his way or the highway. Definitely no computers, no organization. It was just filing cabinets with last names and stuff like that. So that was kind of like the bottleneck to scaling. If you weren't at the office, you didn't know anything about any of the jobs. You didn't have any access to things. There definitely wasn't a playbook for training team members or anything like that. We were just running through people, year after year. So I pretty much had to build it all, myself. We still do some things the old JC Fence way, but for the most part, I had to rebuild or build for the first time processes, SOPs, find a way to get things to be more up to date and able to be scaled. So yeah, it was a lot of change, a lot of me kind of creating the way that we run today.
That's awesome, man. That's amazing. And so fast forward to today, what is JC Fence looking like crew wise and sales every year?
Yeah, so right now we are running in the heat of our summertime, depending on the year, anywhere between 9 and 12 crews on the day. It's a mix between in-house crews and subcontractors. When we get up into the 12 range, we're usually running 4 or 5 subs.
Right.
Wintertime for us right now looks like snow plowing. We run 5 snow plowing crews, have some managers and some shovelers and snow blow crews that go out and run. Last couple of years we've declined from our peaks, but yeah, we're still going. This year we'll project to run around 7 or 8 crews per day, every day.
That's awesome, man. And I assume that you are using your CRM to manage all of these like crews as well, right?
Yeah, 100%. Built Elite Technique for myself. That was kind of the idea at first. Like I said, growing, trying to get myself out of a job in the business, right? I bought it. I was doing everything and transitioned into doing sales, and then from sales into the office. But, again, it was like we really needed something that would organize and streamline and make it easier to train new team members as they came in. And so that's why I built Elite Technique. And so Elite Technique's been running my company for 4.5 years.
That's cool, man. And you said you built this, right? Like, did you do it on your spare time, or like where did you find the time to like build this?
So I'm part of a group. It's called the Entrepreneurs Organization. It's a group that's global group that was kind of like founded on the idea of like Gino Wickman and Traction. It's a book and an operating system for businesses. I joined it, and I was kind of on my own, getting things cloud-based, getting things available from wherever I was. Because again, as I was scaling, I couldn't be tied to the office. I couldn't be relying on a drawer with proposals. I needed to be wherever I was and have access to all the data. Right. And I had gotten myself without a software to the point of like one piece of paper left in the company. And I was at that entrepreneurs organization one day, kind of like proud. That's what we do. We share our 5%. So it was like the work good news of the month was that I was down to one piece of paper. I was giving that story to somebody across the table from me that, unbeknownst to me, built software for a job. That's what their company was. That's what got them to the Entrepreneurs Organization. And when I told him the story, he kind of just like looked me straight in the face and told me it was the most inefficient way that he'd ever heard anybody trying to run a business. And I was like, definitely heartbroken. Like, wow, I thought it was a good idea. And he was like, yeah, man, you had the right idea, but you're not even close. Make a long story short, he's like, let's do a meeting. We'll talk about what you want. I'll tell you what I can do for you. And at the time, I'm like, I'll never be able to afford that, right? Like a guy digging holes isn't going to be able to afford to build a software. But the price that he gave me wasn't great, wasn't the scariest thing I ever heard. And did I build it? I didn't physically code it. I didn't physically write the code that does it. I dug holes my whole entire life. I don't even know what a line of code means, but I guess I architected it, right? Like it was all the things that I envisioned running my fence company that I thought would make my company cleaner, more organized, easier to scale, easier to run. And it was them that put it all together for me. And since they did that, I've been reiterating and growing it and making it better and, just trying to work on improving it for everybody since. So yeah, was in my spare time, if you would call it that. But I was running the fence company, and I'd carve out a few hours a day. You put in those 12-hour days, 13-hour days, and you make it work, get it done.
Oh man, for a second there, I was gonna be like, dude, you're like almost the most impressive dude I've ever even talked to. If
I don't know
code, like coded all of this, I'm like, where did you find time to learn?
Nope.
do that.
No,
But
no time.
but either way, still very impressive that you still architect it while still maintaining the fence company and like keeping it going. So it was built basically for you. Obviously, you then saw that there was a need for it outside of just you. What did that look like going through the steps and processes of not just getting the word out about it, but getting traction of gaining clients and stuff?
Yeah, great question. So, yeah, I mean, at first when I built it, I was like, oh, maybe one day we'll sell it, but I didn't build it with the intent that I was going to build this big business out of it. But as you know, and probably some of the listeners know, I'm pretty involved in the AFA. So I'd
Mhm.
find myself at a installation school and I would be teaching install school, and I'm there and I still have to run my fence company. So up's the laptop and I'm sitting there working, right? What's that? That's my software that I run my business with. Well, can I get the information on how to get it? Well, yeah, you're talking to me like I
Yeah.
don't know, right? Like, yeah, well, show me. So I'd show them. Oh, that's awesome, man. I wish I had something like that. And then it's like, well, enough people asked me and enough people saw it that I was like, all right, it's gotta give. So we went and, started selling it. I've never paid money for advertising for it. I've never done a Facebook ad. I've never marketed it at all. It just came from, all right, well, 4 or 5 people got it, and then another 4 or 5 people got it, and 6 of the 8 stuck. And then if somebody asked on Facebook about what was a good software, a couple of them were proud enough of it to say, try Matt and Elite Technique. I'm lucky enough to be really good friends with Dan. You know Dan Wheeler
Mhm.
from the Fence Industry Podcast, and um, I got him into the software. He started using it. He swore by it. Now he's talking about it all the time. It just was really like an avalanche, right? It was a small
Yeah.
snowball that started rolling, and then it just kept picking up people. And just like I do with my fence company, like I kind of treat the software the same way. I don't care what time it is. I don't care what day it is. I don't care what holiday it is. If a customer's got an issue, if they've got a need, we want to handle it right away. I appreciate it because I've tried to run my business and had issues. If you get answers quick, you can solve problems quick. And I think that just really stuck. People like that, respect that. And I think they like talking to somebody that knows about fence when they're setting up something that they're not comfortable with. Like I wasn't comfortable setting it up my first year either, but
Right.
I got there. Now people can come to me that really don't know much about software, but they know about fence and feel comfortable that I can bridge that gap. So yeah, it just really just snowballed, and that's what it looked like. And now we're up to over 70 companies across, I say the country, but really the world. We have
Great.
companies outside of America too. And it's like, yeah, we've only been selling the software for 2.5 years, and it's growing. The traction is it's taking foot.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And I was man, I just lost what I was about to ask you, but it'll come back. But it just see, so I always preach about like getting to these events and networking. And that's what that right there is what it really does for you. It doesn't matter if it's AFA, NAFCA, FWA, Mr. Fence, Purple Coaching. I don't care which event you pick, you call your family, get to some of those, and man, networking could just possibly change your life.
It does. Yeah. I was the worst at it. Really. I was. I was, I don't know, 18 to 25, like that stubborn entrepreneur, can't ask for help, can't
Right.
go, be told what to do. I got to figure it out myself. And man, I got my butt kicked like every day, up and down, lost money, lost time, lost sleep, lost energy. And I would be told by my mentors all the time, you got to join these groups. You got to join these groups. And I just didn't want to. I was shy. I wasn't outgoing. I'm still not outgoing. I'm not the guy that goes into a room and goes and makes friends. I kind of sit in the corner by myself, and I wasn't really getting anywhere fast. I joined that entrepreneurs group, which led to the AFA, which led to going to Tony Thornton summits and going to, like you said, just anything I could get my hands on. And it's certainly changed my career path. It's certainly changed my trajectory. I wouldn't have this entire business if it wasn't for networking events. So I agree with you 100%. You can't
Yeah.
get enough of it.
Yeah. And not just for the business, but a lot of these networking events do, honestly, from what I've found, a lot more for personal growth than they do really for business growth. And from what I'm finding, like, man, you get your personal growth in line and the business just kind of follows through with it, man.
Certainly helps, right? If you don't have your ducks in a row at home and in your own mind, it's certainly hard to be focused and, growing in the business. So you're hitting the nail on the head. It's helpful to have work and, growth. I say growth, right? One of our core values at my fence company is growth. You got to grow personally. You got to grow business wise, or it's kind of stagnant, right? Eventually, you can't get anywhere.
Yeah, very true. Like, speaking of the AFA, you are your chapter's president, right?
Yep, I'm the current president of the Northeast chapter of the AFA. We actually have a Northeast chapter conference coming up here in 8 days. So
Nice.
March 11th to the 14th up here in Rhode Island, we are going to be having a Northeast conference with AFA education, local chapter education, and a showroom floor with about 81 vendors at it. So it's a mini fence tech. It's not on the same level as them, but we do pretty good for our little neck of the woods.
Nice, man. And how long have you been like an active member of the AFA? Like your whole time, or did you kind of just join at first and then kind of get active in it?
Joined it first. So we've been members of the AFA since I can remember. I was a little kid. My grandfather and my dad used to take me to local chapter events every year that we had them. I think my first time going to a national convention would have been 19 years ago. I think I had just turned 21 and it was in Vegas. And we were like, all right, let's couple this up. We'll go celebrate the birthday and go to the national. But I was more doing it as like a spectator than I was a volunteer.
Right.
It was probably about 6 years ago that I started volunteering for my local chapter, and that led to being asked to be the next president. And so I was president-elect for a couple of years, current president now. And so I'd say it's been about 5 or 6 years that I've been active in volunteering.
That's great, man. That's great. And I heard you earlier in the show say that you were teaching fence school. Are you still doing that as chapter president?
Yeah, I've done it the last 3 years.
Nice.
So I actually started before I became the president. While I was president-elect, I was asked by the current president, Ken Throckmorton, if I would go down to Dallas 3 or 4 years ago to teach. And so I've been lucky enough to be asked to go back the last few years and teach a class for the fence install school down there.
That's awesome, man. And that's always a good time too. Like no matter if it's in Dallas or Tampa or where's the other one at? Oklahoma.
We did Oklahoma one year. Yeah, there was like tornado sirens going off, and it was wild. But yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. All right, well, hey, real quick, we are going to jump to commercial break, and we'll be back in just a minute, okay?
National Metal Industries, a family-owned business for 70-plus years, has grown to be recognized for their ability to deliver on not just privacy slats for fence, but all types of fence products. National Metal Industries has all the hardware and tools to get the fence professional in and out of their job with the most ease possible. You can count on National Metal Industries for the most convenient resources in fence products. Visit nmifence.com for more information. As we like to say, you can always pick it right at National. J.C. Gurry Signs and Decals has been a trusted name in the sign industry since 1949, with all manufacturing done in-house from start to finish right here in the USA. With 75 years in outdoor signage and roots dating back to the 1920s, J.C. Gurry specializes in durable, high-quality signs and decals. In-house screen printing since the 1970s ensures every product meets the highest standards. Visit jcgurry.com for more information. Every aluminum sign includes Mylar lamination at no extra cost, extending product life in tough outdoor conditions. For unmatched quality and longevity, visit jcgurry.com. Struggling with a gate that drags on your sloped yard? Orlando Hinge Company has the solution, the Swan Hinge. Unlike standard hinges, the Swan Hinge lets double drive gates swing open smoothly up inclines, eliminating dragging and binding. Easy to install on vinyl, aluminum, wood, and chain link gates. It's built for durability and made to withstand the elements. And when your customer hears that, yes, their gates can work on a slope, you just made the sale. The Swan Hinge, designed by fencers for fencers. Made in the USA, lifetime warranty. Order today at swanhinge.com or email info@orlandohingecompany.com. The Swan Hinge, because every gate deserves to open smoothly.
Alrighty, guys, and we are back. And if you are just joining the show, we got Mr. Matthew Chiaradonna on from JC Fence and Elite Technique on. We're in here talking about some CRM stuff, some old school fence practices, and just having a blast on this awesome Tuesday night, right?
Of course we are. Always talking about fence. It's always fun.
All right. Let me scroll through my notes here real fast. Let's see where we're at. I went off there. Okay. All right. So we were talking about networking and all of that stuff, and then we went into the AFA. So now we'll get back into some of the inside stuff of what all Elite Technique does for a fence company. Besides the basics that is a fence CRM, what is going to be different from any of the other ones out right now?
Yeah, I mean, what I would say the largest difference is that we are truly like a one-size-fits-all software for all the things that you're usually getting from many softwares. The goal of why I wanted to build Elite Technique was because I was looking for a bunch of things that I didn't see in one place, and I was going to have to integrate a bunch of different softwares to get it at like a really absorbent price, right? I knew I needed a CRM, and there's some great CRMs out there, excellent CRMs out there. I knew that I needed to have a place where I could get pictures, videos, put notes and things like that on them. And there's great software out there that does that. I knew I wanted a drawing tool, one that would use Google Earth and let me have different backdrops on it, but that would actually calculate fence, right? I didn't just want to do a drawing to do a drawing and then need somebody that knew fence that had to calculate the parts and pieces that I needed. I needed one that did that. And I knew there's a couple of softwares out there that did that, not specifically for fence, but you could teach it, right? I knew that I needed QuickBooks still. I knew that I needed, text messaging. I knew I needed all these things. And every time I would go look for a software, there wasn't anywhere that I could get that all in one place. And when I looked at stacking those stacks together, we were talking about thousands of dollars a month for all the users that I needed, right? I mean, I was a 35 to 45 person company. It's outrageously expensive. It made sense to build that all into one place. And so what do we do differently than the other ones? We are all those things in one place. We can work in a very simple method so that if you're not a big company, you're just a small pickup truck company, you're just trying to use CRM drawing tool and send a quote out, we can set you up real quick, real fast, and make it simple for you. But we've got companies that are franchises that have multiple locations that are doing multiple branches, and we're setting them up in an enterprise system. So you hear terms like CRM. What's that? Customer relation management tool. It's good at bringing customers in and keeping them through the system. We're what we would call an ERP. Like, we're an enterprise software. We can be set up super simple, but these massive companies, they can use us too. So like you're not going to start with us and then have to switch into something else later because you outgrew us. You're going to grow with us. We
Right.
do inventory, purchasing, we do manufacturing, we can do vehicle tracking, clock in, clock out, profit. I mean, it's a true enterprise system that can do everything that your company needs it to do. That's built specifically around fence. So kind of makes us different, right? Like a small
Yeah.
guy could come in and probably use us, but these massive multi-location companies are coming in and finding great success customizing the software around their needs too. So I think it definitely sets us apart from what else is out there.
Absolutely. So a little sidebar question that I'm just curious about. Have you found any success outside of the fence world with this?
If
Like,
someone in the fence world comes to me and says, I do patios, can you help me? I do structures, building structures, can you help me? I do roof. Will I say, yeah, of course we can, right? Our software is built to be able to use anything. It's just not what I focus on. It's not my
right,
day to day. My the customers I'm after are fence companies. The
right.
problems that I'm trying to solve are fence problems. The updates that we make and the customizations that we do are 100% around fence. If somebody came to me from outside of the fence industry and wanted to use my services, I would say yes. I would help them and I would do my best to set the system up to work for them. It's just not my core focus. My core focus is and always will be fence.
Okay. All right. That is fair enough. Uh Man, I'm just having a hard time keeping my brain on track here tonight. So for the average Joe who isn't extremely computer savvy, what is the onboarding setup look like? Like, are we talking about extremely technical or straight up like right out of high school you can run this?
Yeah, it's like super user's choice, right? And we explain that in onboarding. So we do have a couple of instances that you can jump into with like a small amount of training or unlimited training. And it really is, what does the person want to get out of the software? If they're just looking for a place where they can get their contacts in, they can follow their contacts through a sales flow, they can make some appointments and send quotes out, you could probably onboard in a couple of hours. Is it going to be as powerful as the guy that spent months setting it up? No, but it's going to work for you. It's going to be able to do what you need it to do. Digital signature, contracts, invoicing. It's fine. It does that. Most people don't want that though, right? They don't want something basic. They want it to be their products. They want their costs on those products. They want to be able to mark those products up their specific price lists. They're going to want a profit and loss jobs because they want that next level. Yeah, it's a little bit more than basic, right? So really it's like, where do you want to go as a company? If you want to be basic, I'll have you onboarded in 3-4 hours. Are you going to have all the robust features that the guy that spent 4 months have? No, but it's going to work for you the way that you want it to. And so it's a super loaded question. People all the time, they're like, how long is it going to take for me to onboard? I'm like,
Right.
how long do you want it to take? If you want it to
Right.
take an hour, you can use it in an hour. It's that easy. Like you and I could turn it on. You could be doing quotes in an hour from now and sending them out to your clients. Will they be super robust? No, but they'll get the job done. Probably
Right.
better than what some people are doing right now. Most people don't want that though. Most people, they see what it offers and they want to put the effort in to get it there. Or maybe not all the way, but they want to get it further than just the basic uses. So let's say your average person is going to be fully onboarded in about 1.5 to 2 months. And that's usually
Okay.
spending like an hour a week on a call with us and doing some work, off the call in between.
Right. Right. And that's pretty much your average user though, right? You said
Yeah. Yeah,
1 to 2
exactly.
months.
Yep. I've had some people set up in one call, but they're not trying to use it, crazy, right? Like, well,
Right.
I do a basic vinyl, I do a basic wood, I do these basic chain links, and I do this basic ornamental. I only want 4 or 5, options of each of those styles. Let's set them up and let's run. And I've literally had some people set up in an hour and they're off using it and I don't hear from them again. But most people, they're more robust than that. They offer 10 to 15 styles of wood, 20 to 25 styles of vinyl. They're offering your basic chain links and maybe a light commercial chain link, and they're doing 30, 40 vinyl panels with a few different colors. that guy who wants it to be a little bit more robust and have all those options and all those costs, they're usually taking that 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay. All right. All right. So for we are coming up on time here shortly. But so as we're like scaling off, for those who are kind of on the fence, like so to say, about reaching out or trying it, do you offer like any like trial periods, or is there just like you gotta stick with it?
Yeah, we used to offer a trial period, and what we've learned, which is something I've learned a lot in my life, is that without buy-in, you're not going to get anything out of people. So you give somebody a 1 month free trial, and they usually don't put a whole lot of effort into it, if any, because they haven't parted with any money. So it's not a big deal to them. And, they've spent an hour on it in a month, and then at the end of the month, they're like, oh, it doesn't work for me.
Okay. Okay.
Do you know if it worked for you? Well, no, we didn't really try it. Well, yeah, no kidding. So we've kind of gotten away from the free trials. We don't really believe in the free trials. We believe in buy-in. We're going to buy into you. We're going to give you unlimited free training. You got to buy into us too. And so what we recommend is we have like a starter package. It's $200 a month, gives you 4 hours of free training. And usually you're going to get those 1 week after another for 4 weeks. That's the sweet sauce, right? If in that first month you give me 4 hours of your time, I'm going to set you up for success with my team. If I give you a free trial and I don't hear from you once in the first month and you only watched a few videos, you're probably not going to make it, right? You're going to end up giving it up when the next month comes because you didn't figure it out. And so, yeah, we want buy-in from you, and we promise we're going to give you 5 times the buy-in back, $200 a month for the first month. You're not asking for much to have a chance at really changing your company. So that's how we do it. We would either start somebody off in the trial package of 200, or the next level up is 400 a month. The 400 a month does come with unlimited online training. So we get some people that will come in with that $400 package, and they'll meet with us like 8 times in the first month, and they're completely set up. That's the buy-in that we're looking for. We want you to give us, your time and effort, and we're going to give it right back.
There we go. That's awesome, man. All right. Well, you got any like closing thoughts for everybody watching and listening?
No, I appreciate you having me on. It was great to finally get on. I know we met at the academy last year and said we'd do it, and a year later, here we are. I'm glad to do it. If you're listening from the Northeast or anywhere up in the region, I just ask you to come over to the fence show, March 11th to the 14th up in Newport, Rhode Island. But yeah, other than that, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, man. Are you going to be at the retreat this year?
I won't, because my show and the retreat are like within a few days of one another. So I'm setting up for show, winding down from show, getting my booth unwinded. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to turn it over and head down south.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, man, I very much appreciate you taking the time out of your night to like come on, and I enjoyed talking to you. And man, again, thank you, and you have a wonderful night. All right.
You too, sir. Have a good one. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, buddy. All righty, guys. And there is another one in the books. Great show tonight, guys. If you want to know more about Elite Technique, go check them out. Search for them on Facebook. Search Matthew Chiaradonna. Go see what they have to offer. If you're thinking about looking for another CRM, just go ahead and jump. Got a great show lined up for you guys next week. And with that said, you'll have a wonderful rest of your night, and go kick some ass this week.